Hey, what's up, guys? Boxing with B.
And what without the paycheck?
All right, so today we have the new champ, the WBA champ. We have, go ahead.
Joshua Franco.
Joshua Franco joining us today. Thanks for joining us.
No problem. Thank you guys for having me.
So I know it might be a little bit delayed. It's video chat. You know, that's how we got to do it now.
Yeah, the new days now.
All right, so first off, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
What was the process, accepting the fight during COVID?
It was really different because of all the stuff that was going on. But I never, doubted that I wasn't gonna take the fight right away. I said yes, and the next day I was out in Cali training already.
You didn't think like, man, first off, they're telling us to go out there and wear masks, and now they want me to fight without a mask?
Yeah, but I mean, I just wasn't sure how everything was gonna work out. I didn't know like it was gonna be, whatever they call like the bubble or whatever. I didn't know it was gonna be, have to be isolated away from my family and stuff. So, I mean, I didn't find that out till like 2 weeks before that I was gonna fight. That everything would be different. So I mean, I had no choice but to just go along with it.
Yeah, that's my next question. Of course, everybody's wondering. Like, we all know about the fight bubble. Because, we've seen, and I know Robert even has like his own podcast kind of thing where he's talking about it. But as a fighter, you already have to mentally prepare like, all right, I'm going to go in there. I got my family around me. I can relax before a fight. But like you said, it's all different. So they always say like tennis and boxing, that's kind of like a lonely sport. Like you're literally lonely for that. So what was that like, having to eat and, live pretty much with everybody, with your opponent and all that? In that bubble?
It was different. I never saw my opponent, while I was on the bubble. We're all on one floor, but we're on different sides of the hotel. But it was different being by myself. It was just me, my dad, and Robert and his son. It was just the four of us, and the whole time I was in my room just by myself. My dad was in his room, and my trainers were in their room. So it was definitely different. But I had time to focus and think about the fight and everything else just by myself. So it was different, but I felt like it benefited me just because I was able just to focus on boxing, not really focus on my family and my having anybody else there. And it was just different, but it all worked out good.
Wow, that quarantine's almost like a jail. You by yourself and everybody else by themselves in the room. That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was just for a few days, so I mean, it went by pretty quick.
That's good. That's good to know no one left their quarantine, because I remember watching another fight. Some fighter's dad went out. I left the quarantine bubble area, and he was no longer allowed at his corner no more. That must be pretty hard.
Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah, that's kind of messed up.
Yeah, but at least they're keeping you guys safe. That's the biggest and the best thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's all that matters. They're, like you said, they're keeping us safe, making sure we're not, getting sick or anything. I know there was, a few, positive tests in the bubble like a couple weeks before I went. So, it's crazy, but I mean, right now that's the new lifestyle.
Yeah, it's a new lifestyle for everybody.
So let's dive right into the fight. You wanted to start that off.
It started off with Mahoney. He came out aggressive towards you. It looked like Moloney. I'm sorry. He came out aggressive to you right away and stuff. So how did you feel that? Did you feel like?
Did you feel like he had any edge over you when you started?
I mean, it was nothing, spectacular or nothing different. Before going into the fight, I was having, really good sparring partners. So, I mean, it wasn't nothing new that I hadn't seen before. I knew he was gonna come out fast and start strong. Trying to prove that that he's the champion, he's undefeated, and that he was just trying to prove like he was something else. But I knew he was gonna come out strong and fast. I mean, and I knew that he wasn't going to be able to keep up that pace with me for 12 rounds.
Had you watched any of Moloney's fights before you stepped in the ring with him?
I had seen like some of his highlights. That's about it. I never, really studied any of his fights. Yeah. I know Robert and his son were telling me that they had been studying him the whole time during camp, and they said each time they watched him fight, the better they saw a chance of me winning.
Oh, good for that.
Before your fight, we had actually covered it a little bit. We talked about it. And we had mentioned that a lot of the boxing forums had Moloney. They were favoring Moloney to win by knockout.
Yeah, 9-1 favorite, I believe it was.
Yeah, and so we had even said, although people might not have known who you were, where like you had plenty of great performances under your belt, and you had Robert Garcia in your corner. Can you share any advice or any talks that he gave you in between rounds?
He just kept me focused and motivated on the fight. If he saw that I was, not following the game plan, then, he would, say something to get me back in the zone. And, he just, kept me focused throughout the whole fight. He kept me motivated, and, he just kept my confidence up, and, it helped throughout the whole fight.
Oh, yeah.
Now, even when you got that knockdown, did he say anything like, all right, stay focused, you got this? Like, or do you say, go in there, finish
him?
this?
Yeah, when I got the knockdown, I went back to the corner. I had looked to see what Robert was going to tell me, and he said both him and his son were telling me to finish him. He's done. So right away when the fight went back on, I was trying to go for the kill, but Moloney had his tricks and he was able to survive.
Yeah, but that's true. It is better to knock out the champion, so there would be no controversy, no nothing, because sometimes Vegas comes out.
Yeah.
So, how did you feel? Because one, the atmosphere is different. There's no audience in there. So when you got that knockdown, it's like you didn't hear everybody like, oh, nothing.
Yeah.
So for you, what did you think? You're like, oh, I got it. And you're kind of like, wait, did I get it? I didn't hear nothing.
Yeah, I was just so in the zone in the fight. I was so focused that, none of that even came to my mind. I was just, my mindset was just, finish him. So I wasn't really, focused on, all the noise and everything. I had my mindset already, and I was just trying to go for the kill.
See, now having no audience there, how did it feel listening to their corner yelling their instructions to their fighter? Yeah, oh, you're doing this. Oh, get him. You're going to. How does that feel? Because you could hear the other corner yelling their instructions.
Yeah, you can hear it sometimes. You can hear it, and I'm just trying not to just pay any attention to it, because if you let it get to you, then you start thinking about it, and the fight starts getting all twisted up, and anything could happen. So just don't pay any attention to that.
Oh, that's good. You stayed focused in your game plan. That's great. Because I think if I was in that, piss me off. Oh, he thinks he's better than me. Oh, hell with that. I'll get him with this.
Exactly. You gotta keep it cool. You gotta keep calm, because if you lose your mind, then you lose the fight.
And you know what? That's like really good that you say that, because what do you say every time there's a hurt fighter? You're like, watch out, a hurt fighter is a dangerous fighter. And you had him hurt.
That's true.
But you handled that. You handled that well. Now, this is something like at the end, it went to decision. Did you think like, oh man, they're taking too long, they're not going to say the words "and knew"?
Yeah, it did cross my mind, but that thought in my mind that there was no way that they could take the fight from me. I just felt like I dominated the fight, and it wasn't close. But he was a time break fighter. It was a top break show. He was the world champion. So they were going to do anything for him to keep that belt. But that they just couldn't do anything. It was clear that I won.
Oh yeah.
Now talking about that celebration, because we had watched that fight a few times, but at the end it seemed like you celebrated, but you were like a little unsure. Like, wait, did they
really
announce
say
it?
"and knew"?
Because you put your hands up, you're like, yeah, and then after you kind of turn around, you see Robert celebrated. You're like, yeah, I got it. You're all jumping now.
Decision and new WBA Super Flyweight Champion of the World, Joshua Franco.
Yeah, it was just a crazy feeling. Even after they said it, I just couldn't believe it. Just that's a dream that I had since I was a kid growing up, and to finally accomplish what all boxers want to accomplish, because not any fighter can even fight a world title fight. So it was just a great feeling, and I was so in shock that it didn't even hit me until like a couple of days after.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna hit you when they actually handed you the belt and said, "Look, here it is," and you wrapped it around you.
It didn't seem to hit me. I was just, like I said, I was in shock, and it was just one of those crazy moments.
Wow.
Now that following Thursday, Moloney's brother Jason, he stepped into the ring. So Andrew was present, and they interviewed him, and they asked him, what do you think of your fight or whatever, and he actually said, "I want that rematch with Franco. I know I can beat him." Yeah. What are your thoughts on that?
He has to feel confident. He wants to get that revenge, or at least try. Or he might just be just talking like that, just to show that he's not down or nothing. But I mean, I feel like deep down he really doesn't want to, fight me again. And if he does, then it's in the rematch clause, so I have no choice. But I mean, I know he has to recover from all the injuries that he had, and I mean, we'll see what happens if the rematch happens.
The rematch happens,
even easier for me.
Yes, I was gonna say if the rematch happens, make sure this time you knock him out, and there'll be no more.
That's with every fight. With every fight that with whatever the result is, if you want that rematch, then it's like it's gonna make for an even better fight because he's gonna study you harder, you're gonna study him harder, which makes for just a great rematch.
But he's always gonna have that thing behind his head that watch out because here you come, and you did it once and you could do it again, knocking him out this time.
Exactly.
So after the fight, I mean, you said you were in quarantine pretty much out there the whole time, but did you have any family that traveled to Vegas and just stayed in separate hotels or something? Or at the end of the fight, did you see any of your family, or who's the first person you called if you didn't see them?
Oh yeah, I had my two brothers go out there, and my girlfriend had went out there as well. She went, but they all went out there to support me. So right after I came out of the arena, I seen my little brother. He's also a fighter, and my other brother and my girlfriend, and they were all proud of me. I gave them a hug. We got celebrated. It was just great to for them to be there and me being able to enjoy that moment with them.
Well, that's good. Now your little brother knows his dreams. Your dreams come true. He's next.
Exactly. I told him that anything's possible, and that night I showed him.
Yes.
So I know that the Moloney rematch is what's out there right now, but if that rematch wasn't up next, is there any names that you have that you're like, now I have my belt, I'm ready to defend it against this person?
Yeah, Chocolatito, Gallo Estrada, Ancajas. I feel like Ancajas would be a good fight between him and a good unification bout, and why not?
Oh yeah.
But of course I want the top dogs, and I mean if the Malone rematch happens, then we'll get him out the way and on to the next one.
Oh yeah, Chocolatito fight would be great because how he was a legend at one. He's always still a legend, but he was on top of the world for the longest time.
Yeah, I feel like that fight will be real explosive. Two pressure fighters going at it, throwing bombs.
Yes.
And, that's a fight that the fans will love to see. Why not give the fans a good fight?
Oh yeah, that'd be a great fight.
Yeah, well, we don't want to take too much of your time anymore, but we want to thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to watching you defend that title.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, and thank you guys for having me on the show. Continue to do what you are doing, and put all the hard work in. And thank you guys for having me.
No problem, boss.
Thank you.
No problem,
Thank
boss.
you.
I wish I could see you one day. And new undisputed, all belts.
Okay, yes, sir.
Let's see if he called it here. Let's see if he called it here.
Usually I'm pretty good. So hopefully, you'll remember me. Oh, that guy told me about
that. I will for sure.
All right, boss. You have a good one.
And whenever y'all want to do it again, let me know and we could do it again. Thank you guys.
All right. Thank you.
Lights out.